Senator Schiff.
Senator Blumenthal, thank you for bringing us together today, and I want to join in thanking Leo and Javier and Marimar for the courage that you've demonstrated in coming forward, your willingness to speak out. I think we are all deeply disturbed by how you have been treated by the U.S. government. It is just appalling to me that we would treat human beings this way and that you had to endure what you have. We saw today in the hearing that the Secretary of Homeland Security takes no responsibility for the treatment of U.S. citizens or immigrants. She used every opportunity to deflect responsibility. She could not acknowledge the mistakes of her agency. All the people that have been victimized in our cities by these mass sweeps, the indiscriminate arrests of citizens and non-citizens alike. As Javier will describe, he was arrested at his workplace. He offered to show identification. He's a U.S. citizen, but was jailed for days. We see this routinely. People picked up just on the basis of how they look or how well they speak the language or what their job is as a part of this indiscriminate immigration policy by the Secretary. When excessive force is used, there is no repercussion. There is no independent investigation, and independent state and local investigators are pushed from the scene, or you have cases where evidence is driven 1,000 miles away rather than preserved at the scene or elsewhere to maintain the chain of custody. I served as an assistant U.S. attorney for years. This is not how you conduct an investigation. To have a secretary who, in the immediate aftermath of a tragic shooting of a U.S. citizen and repeatedly, without any basis, makes the false, sensational claim that these are domestic terrorists, and then doesn't have the character to admit her mistake is just reprehensible. And none of this instills any confidence in the country that this agency is being run appropriately, or where there's an excessive use of force against citizens or non-citizens, that those cases are being properly investigated. So we have an agency run amok. It is bad enough what they're doing to U.S. citizens and immigrants, but they are also wasting vast amounts of taxpayer resources on sweetheart contracts for friends of friends or family of friends. We discussed at length, in particular, this $220 million boondoggle, this PR campaign largely featuring Kristi Noem on horseback and Kristi Noem in a helicopter and Kristi Noem here or Kristi Noem there. Basically $220 million PR campaign at taxpayer expense, which she acknowledged was approved by the president, although was very reluctant to do so. That contract went to a company that didn't exist 11 days before it got the contract. The bulk of that funding, $143 million, went to a subcontractor that just happens to be run by the husband of her press person at the time, someone also who ran her campaign as the governor of South Dakota. And she has the audacity to suggest that this was all a mere coincidence, just, I guess, a happy coincidence that friends and family of friends ended up with such a massively lucrative, apparently no-bid contract. We released a report just a few days ago from my office that outlines $144 million of expenditures by ICE on weapons and non-lethal supplies. Just in the last year, that's a 360% increase in expenditures on weapons by ICE and a doubling of expenditures on weapons and other related equipment by Customs and Border Protection. This is an agency awash in resources and run amok that is desperately in need of oversight and reining in. And Senator Blumenthal, I thank you for all you're doing. In particular, I want to thank you for the efforts you're doing to fight these illegal ICE raids inside people's homes. Administrative warrant is not a warrant to invade someone's home. It does not survive challenge under the Fourth Amendment, and for the Secretary today to say that it does and that the case law supports it is simply false. In the case she's citing, the court never even reached that issue. A judicial warrant is necessary under the Fourth Amendment, and ICE agents are operating without judicial warrants to invade people's homes, and we have to put a stop to that. And I thank you, Senator Blumenthal, for your efforts on that as well.